Hey my good friend, Sam Haymart with Test Driven TV. Today we're test driving the 2024 Infiniti QX60, and this is the fully loaded autograph model with the nice exterior and interior trim. So we're going to have a close look at it inside now. We're going to take it for a drive, and then I'm going to tell you what I really think. All right, my friends, before we get out on a drive, let's have a quick look at the vehicle they've sent us. This is a fully loaded autograph trim grade, which means it's got a beautiful interior, it's got a beautiful exterior, and a lot of features that really make it stand out. Now, design really hasn't changed since the last time we tested a 2022 model. However, this is a higher trim grade with more stuff to talk about. And so the autograph has this beautiful two-tone paint treatment with a black roof. And this has also black roof rails up there to go along with that to keep that appearance all blacked out. And this also has a panoramic moon roof at the top. Looking at the front, a lot of sculpting in the hood, and the design gives this some character that you don't always see on some of the competitors. And Infiniti's front end design has really come a long way in the last decade. About 10-15 years ago, a lot of their vehicles look like really angry fish. And the vehicle has really sort of grown into its own styling DNA that's handsome. I think it's a little bit on the masculine side and definitely contemporary. LED lighting all the way around. This has a lighting package option on it, as well as a backlit LED emblem on that front grille. Looks very sharp at night. Around the corner, this has 20-inch wheels on it. One of the things I am surprised at is the black plastic trim that goes around the wheel arches and the lower rockers. It's not finished in a higher level look. It's still black plastic like you might find in a base level car. Down on the bottom of that rocker, however, is a beautiful chrome trim element with Infiniti stamped in it, so it sort of makes up for that lesser expensive looking trim. At the back, a nice detail there in the rear pillar, in that rear 3/4 view, the way the chrome sort of back ends into a nice sculpt. And looking at the silhouette at that rear 3/4 view, this has got some nice shoulder lines on it, hips if you will. It's not just a flat-sided SUV like many of the competitors. It looks athletic and it's got a nice stance. That rear hatch is a power opening hatch, key fob button inside, or it is radar operated if you run your foot under the bumper. A very nice thing if you've got arms full of groceries and you're coming out of the store and you can just get right over there and not have to pull anything out of your purse or your pockets. Down on the lower bumper, this has a full setup for towing. This can tow up to 6,000 pounds. And so this is a very handsome luxury SUV that also has capability to go with it. The interior of the QX60, especially the autograph model, is my favorite part of this vehicle. Just look at this. Oh my God, this is one of the nicest interiors I have sat in a very long time. And I am talking about the semi-aniline leather that's quilted with this beautiful diamond pattern. The seats are perforated, heated, and ventilated. They have a massage feature. The dash, look at that. Beautiful soft stitch material in a matching diamond stitch. And it wraps the entire dash top to bottom. The doors, the center console. This is luxury. This is what you're paying the money for. Along with that is ashwood and a high quality materials and finishes here that all speak to the price tag without a question mark. And there's a lot of feature content here too. As I sit here and look around, we've got climate control. Here on the center stack is a touch sensitive control panel. Now it is gloss black and it has a lot of reflection, but it is backlit and everything on it is touch sensitive. So as you move around and you use the different controls, you don't actually have moving buttons except for the knobs that are here. So it takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's very modern, very contemporary. The center console, a nice big place down here to lay your phone. It's a wireless charger. You can see it when it lights up in case something pops up there and you just want to glance down and see what it is. In the center is the gear selector. Not my favorite type, but it is a toggle. You can move it forward and back. And again, modern, contemporary, much like the touch sensitive controls up here. Back behind it, there is an additional controller for the touch screen, and that can operate both as a touch screen. You can use the controller or the thumb controls on the steering wheel. The steering wheel, well, leather wrapped, and it has paddle shifters on it for the 9-speed automatic transmission. Ahead of it, a 12.3-inch instrument cluster, fully digital, and you can change a lot of the information sets that you're looking on it, get it dialed in, do exactly what you want. There's also a head-up display. This is an SUV, so it has a lot of versatility, big map pockets in the doors, storage in here, not quite as big as you might see in some of the competitors. It's a little bit larger than a square tissue box, but there are power ports down inside there, and it's nicely lined and finished. Above me is the panoramic roof, and it is quite a large one, front to back. The front section opens, so you can use it like a sunroof. It really adds a lot of atmosphere to this interior, and the way the glass is treated, I've actually been able to leave it open this week, and it doesn't feel like I'm in a bake oven. This is a 3-row SUV, and as you can see, the second row here in our autograph model comes with captain's chairs. They have the same matching quilted leather as the front seats. These seats back here are heated, and they're quite beautiful. There's nice armrests that lay down. I will point out that this is a removable console that comes out pretty easily, and so that way you can use this as a center aisle to get access to that back seat. Access to the back seat, these seats do fold forward and move out of the way so that you can get back there. It is not the largest third row seat in the business, but it is a little bit larger than just for kids. And those seat backs on the third row do recline, as do the ones here on the second row. There are adjustments. These can slide forward and back, as well as the aforementioned recline. And amenities back here are pretty nice here on the autograph. Climate controls for the rear passengers, power ports, multiple kinds. There's an AC outlet. There's also window shades back here. Gives you a nice way to have it. And also this window up here, you can pull the shade shut about halfway. So if you want to have it open in the front but not in the back, you can have it that way. Folding down these seats gives you a fully flat load floor, even with the center console and the captain's chairs. I found that pretty impressive. And once you get them down, the third row seats are power operated to put them back up by buttons at the back. So if you've got the second row back up and you just want to pull those other ones back up, you don't have to lean in and reach. You can press the button and up they come. I think that's pretty cool. Now, storage at the back with the third row seat up, not the biggest, but underneath the floor is a nice big deep well to store a lot of gear, especially things like muddy boots, things like that. And if you're looking for the spare tire, you're going to find that underneath the vehicle. It has one, very important, with an SUV. This is an interior I'm very happy with, very much like the first time I tested the QX60, and then it wasn't even the autograph with this very nicely trimmed interior, and I love it, no question about it. It fires on all cylinders, and so it gets 5 out of 5 stars. The infotainment system here is a 12.3-inch screen, touch screen, and as I mentioned before, it also has a controller back here, and it has controls on the steering wheel. Here in the top of the line model, it is fully featured with a Bose audio system, 17 speakers, Apple CarPlay, wireless, Android Auto, not wireless though, that you do have to plug in. It has Bluetooth connectivity, it has AM, FM of course, and AM of course, and it has a lot of cloud-based features. You can see that there on the screen with the weather, and it also has navigation. It's got a 360-degree monitor for backing up, for parking when you get into a parking space. Very well done. It's just got a lot of feature content. Now, laying out of the menus is a little bit of a task to figure it out as you navigate and work your way through there, but once you learn it, it's got great graphics, and it's relatively easy to get to all of the features and the settings that you want to use. This infotainment system gets 5 out of 5 stars. All right, my friends, are we ready to take a drive? The first thing I always like to talk about is what's under the hood. Here's a 3.5-liter V6 with a 9-speed automatic transmission, 295 horsepower, and 270 pound-feet of torque. Pretty rare thing in today's market where even the larger 3-row SUVs such as this are all going to 4-cylinder turbo. So it has that nice, smooth demeanor, that silky sort of feel that we've been used to and taken for granted for many, many decades. And it's becoming a standout in the market. So if you watch my videos, you know the first question I always like to ask is, how does it go? So we're gonna come to a complete stop. We're out in the middle of nowhere. And go. Woo! Immediate power. a nice sound. Now transmission works, and 60. Listen to that. Now, that thing even barked the tires a little bit at takeoff. That doesn't happen very much anymore. These modern cars with their computer-controlled throttles are all tuned to sort of make it impossible to break traction, but this does give you immediate power when you ask for it, and I love that. That is a good thing. Just so rare in today's market. So we've got the nice thrum, the feel of a V6. We now have a 9-speed automatic transmission here instead of the continuously variable transmission, CVT, that used to be in the last generation of this vehicle. So powertrain is greatly improved over before. It does have an auto start stop system, not my favorite, but you can turn it off, although you do have to do that every time you start the car. So powertrain here has a high level of refinement. It's got a nice feel, good immediate power when you ask for it. There are paddle shifters here on the steering wheel. Now, efficiency. This is rated at 20 mpg city, 25 mpg highway, and 22 mpg combined. Now, in my week with it, I got about 21, but the air conditioner was actually on just a little bit this week here in Phoenix, Arizona, even in winter. So efficiency, not the best, but not too bad. I'm very impressed with this powertrain. It gets 5 out of 5 stars. So when it comes to ride, drive, and handling, this is a vehicle that comes with a pretty mainstream chassis architecture. It has McPherson struts up front, and it has a multi-link independent rear suspension. And with all-wheel drive, it's able to send all of the power to where it needs to be on demand. Unlike some vehicles in this price category, it does not have an adaptive suspension. Everything is set to one setting. The good news is that it's a good setting. It has a nice sporting feel to it, and like a lot of the Nissan and Infiniti products I've test driven over the years, this chassis feels solid as a block of steel. They've managed to tune the steering, the feel of the brakes and the suspension all together in a way that it just makes it feel of quality, and especially at this price, that's a good thing. And so around town on things like speed humps, it does a good job of not having any, suspension clunks, rattles, or squeaks or creaks in the structure. It feels solid. It feels of quality. I think I said that already. That's a theme. Out on the highway, it's got a pretty solid feel. It doesn't seem to be easily upset by crosswinds, goes to aerodynamics and good chassis tuning. And it's quiet. On our 70-mile-an-hour test, this rolls in at 55.2 decibels. One of the quietest vehicles we've tested this year, and that is a good thing, especially in the luxury category. Chassis gets 5 out of 5 stars. All right, my friends, now we've driven it. We've had a good look at it inside and out, talked about a lot of its high points and not very many low points so far, huh? Well, let's talk about value and see where we go there. Now, value, $70,000 fully loaded, that's a lot of money. Is it too much? Is it just right? Well, if you look at any of the competitors, be it Lexus, Genesis, the German brands, this is where a 3-row luxury crossover is in terms of pricing. With some of the Germans, it's even more. This is a vehicle that stands out in a number of ways to me, and one of the first ones, and we talked about that with powertrain, is its naturally aspirated V6. It still has one, and that means it has luxury in terms of its drivetrain feel. It's smooth, it's silky, it's quiet. It doesn't have the rough sort of unrefined characteristics of a turbocharged 4-cylinder that many of the competitors are now going to, unless you really go all the way up into their more expensive models. So that's a good thing. And the fact that it has a 9-speed automatic transmission now instead of the CVT like the last generation also makes it a plus. Now, warranty coverage, another bonus here. You've got 4 years, 60,000 miles for the bumper to bumper, 6 years, 70,000 miles for the powertrain, and it even comes with 3 years scheduled maintenance. So that's a value in my opinion. And so when I put that in with all of the quality, the design, the features, the luxury that this offers, I think it's a good value, even at $70,000. 5 out of 5 stars for value. When you put that in with everything we've already talked about, we're at 5 stars total for the review. So there, how's that? Well, Here's what I'll tell you. If you like what we do, you can see our latest video right there. We have over 1,000 more out there in our catalog. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel right down there. We've got a new video, a couple of them at least, every week. So have a good day. Thanks for watching.